Thanks to the support as a channel member, Tristan McDonald. Look, I remember saying in yesterday's video that I wasn't going to do anything mad in the January transfer window. Before you all call me out, I remember saying it. What I didn't anticipate was Manchester City coming in, meeting Ansu Fati's release clause and him leaving. So then the mad stuff happened. And welcome to part 24 of Rebuilding Barcelona. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have the first leg of our Champions League first knockout round game away against Juventus, and then a massive game in the Liga away against Real Madrid, who are actually proper title rivals for us this year. And yeah, things have been... things have happened. I'm trying not to just dive straight into the headline, but things have happened since the last episode. Normally at this point, I show you how things have been going since the last... you know what? I'll do it anyway, and it's going to spoil the fact we've signed Moukoko. There he is. Look, we signed him here. He scored a hat-trick on his debut, 4 goals in his next game, and yeah, he is quite good. This Youssoufa Moukoko guy, he's quite good. Yes, we're paying him a lot of money, £275,000 a week. He is one of only 2 players at the club that have broken the £200,000 a week wage structure limit that we imposed. It's him and De Ligt, the 2 headline signings, I guess. And he's come in and 4 goals in 7 appearances, a 7.26, 9 in 8 in his first, in all competitions. Doesn't quite tell the whole story because, as you've just seen, he scored 7 of his 9 goals in his first 2 matches. So he's actually only got 2 more goals in the subsequent 6 starts. But he is good. He cost a lot of money, but here's why. Because as mentioned in the intro, I'm minding my own business, having a nice, easy January, and all of a sudden Manchester City come in and just plonk £186 million on the table for Ansu Fati midway through January, and it all kicks off. So he refused to discuss a new contract with me. There was no way for me to keep him. Release clause met, wouldn't discuss a new contract, and the deal went through. I mean, it took like a week to go through probably. So actually they came in early in January and made the offer. And then I was just kind of sitting and waiting and panicking and making offers for players. Obviously we had his replacement ready to go. I talked about him in the last episode and said how I wasn't going to sign him because we didn't need him. I even did the comparison with Ansu Fati in the last episode and kept saying, yeah, but we don't need him. He's an unnecessary expense. But as soon as that offer came in, I went straight in for Andrezino, who is at Porto, met his release clause at 59 million. He's also come in and been awesome. He's got 6 goals from 10 starts on a 7.35 in all competitions since arriving. So he's just come straight in to take Fati's space on the right-hand side of midfield. But obviously we then had a lot of money left over. So I thought, well, we may as well get Moukoko as well. Why not? He's there. He's got a £90 million release clause. He's quite good on the star rating. It seemed like he was getting better and better. He was really starting to bang the goals in for Leverkusen in Germany. He was having an impressive season in the Champions League, 5 from 5. It was kind of his breakthrough year. And it felt like if we didn't get him now, we were never going to get him and someone else was going to go and get him. So we just went and met his release clause as well. But we still had some Ansu Fati money left over. So we also, on deadline day, went out and got another wonder kid. Timothy Van Haren is an 18-year-old Belgian under-21 international with 5-star potential. He's a central midfielder who can also play in, I mean, it just looks like randomly selected positions, but we've brought him in to be another body in central midfield for us. And again, comes straight into the team. 4 appearances, got a goal on his debut. That seems to be the theme. Andrezino scored on his debut as well, so all 3 of them scoring on debut. And he's there as another option for us in midfield, which allowed us to then also sell Isco. So Isco's gone to West Ham for £21.5 million. I think that's a cracking piece of business. We bring Isco in on a 3 transfer. He gives us 2.5 good years, starts to lose his place because of the change in system and Jude Bellingham arriving. So we've been able to move him on for big money. One of the almost as big as his transfer that took him to Real Madrid way back when. So a huge transfer for a 32-year-old. Which kind of opened the squad spot for Van Haren to come in. The only other thing we've done is Marcus Leonardo has gone on loan back to Lyon again. This is where he was in the second half of last season. He got 10. In fact, he might have been there all year. Was he there all year? He might have been there all year. 10 goals at Lyon last year. He had been doing quite well for us. 5 goals from 2 starts, 9 appearances all in, most of them in the cup competitions, but he looked sharp. But obviously bringing Moukoko in, we may as well send him back to France, let him continue to develop playing for Lyon, and then he's another option to come back in as and when he's done there. So the squad looks quite different now. You can see that we are bang back in form, and we've actually now got a really nice front 3 option, and we're not actually using it today because Memphis is back in the team, but no, not that one. This front 3 has an average age of 19, I think, and is just sensational. Nonto, I think his future is going to be on the left-hand side for us, taking over the Memphis Depay role. Memphis probably looking to move him on in the summer, just before I retire. But I think we move Memphis on to make room for Nonto as the left winger, Andrezinho then on the right-hand side, and Moukoko up front. That is just a stupidly good front 3 of players that have got huge potential. That could be your Barcelona front 3 for the next 10 years. It could be up there with Messi, Neymar, and Suarez as a front 3. And it obviously frees Pedri up to play in midfielders. Oh, it's just beautiful. I'm really happy with it. I never in a million years would have sold Ansu Fati if it was my decision. I panicked when that offer came in because I didn't know what I was going to do, and I didn't know if I was going to have the opportunity to rebuild the team in time for winning the Champions League this year. But in the space of the offer coming in and the transfer actually being finalised, I mean, you can see they went through officially on the same day. So Ansu Fati on the 15th of January, Andrezinho and Moukoko both arriving the same day. I actually delayed their transfers, so they came in after Fati in case we had the players kick off at selling a key player. I could just drop those 2 and say, there you go, have a couple of new ones. But I just sort of sat there and put those offers in. Andrezinho was easy. Moukoko, my excuse for him is it was late at night and he was exciting. I didn't need to do it, but I like the fact that we have. Finance-wise, it hasn't ruined things. We're still showing as £38 million of net debt. We were actually showing a 0 net debt very briefly before we brought Van Haren in. You can see we sold Isco on the 22nd, and Van Haren didn't come in until deadline day. So I could have just not signed him and taken the net debt at 0 and said, there you go, job done. But I figured he's an 18 years old, loads of potential. He's a useful body to have around to replace Isco in the squad. And I still think we'll get that net debt back down to 0 at the end of the season. We've still got all these sponsor payments to come in. The kit sponsorship, although, I mean, I hope we do get one more payment on this one. That runs until this summer. But even if it's just the other sponsorships come in, we'll get a new version of the kit sponsorship. I am a little bit alarmed at the kit sponsorship now, looking at how soon that expires. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll be net debt 0 by the end of the year. And we'll do it as Champions League winners. That's the plan. So, Juventus are who we're playing. This is how Juventus are getting on. They're second in Serie A, second to Inter, of course, who knocked us out at this stage last year, but have then been beaten comfortably by us this year, and we've strengthened the team since then. So I would like to think we should be able to take care of Juventus. Let's find out, shall we? We're going with Ter Stegen in goal, a back four of Baldi, Sula, De Ligt and Porro. Rice at the base of the midfield with Van Haren and Pedri in front of him. I wouldn't normally be playing Van Haren in a game of this size, but Bellingham's not fit and De Jong's suspended. So that's one of the reasons we brought him in for situations like this, because otherwise it would be Nico or Gavi having to come into the team there. And as much as I think they're going to be useful squad players long term, they're both early 20s now, I think. Is Gavi? Yeah, Gavi's hit 20. They've not got the 5-star potential. They're not really developing into the level of players that we hope they would be. They'll be useful squad players forever. They're never going to be regular starters, whereas Van Haren might be. I'm just going to put Memphis back in. We don't want to go full-on kids for this game. Pedri is just coming back from injury as well, so we need to keep an eye on him. But it's then Depay, Moukoko, and Andrezinho as our front three. Andrezinho is brilliant, by the way. Moukoko is a great finisher, but Andrezinho, I actually think we've got an upgrade on the squad by taking Fati out and bringing him in. If we can teach him to play on the left-hand side as well, and cover all of the positions that Fati was able to play previously, I think we've actually upgraded by bringing him in and letting Fati go. Manchester City can have him. We don't need him anymore. Andrezinho is the man. But let's go win a football match, shall we? Inter already 1-1 against Paris Saint-Germain. Hey, shut up, Alexa. Goodness me. What's happening here? Right, that's okay. She just kept repeating herself. I've had to unplug it and plug it back in again. Goodness me. Right. Apologies for the interruption there by my ridiculous Amazon device, which I will not name because it will set all yours off. But Porro is attacking down the right-hand side, and Porro probably could have crossed that. That's a little bit disappointing. Remember, usual script when we're away from home in the Champions League in the knockout rounds. We're happy with a draw in this game, and we'd be really happy with a score draw, or obviously anything that involves us getting that away goal and not losing the match would be great. But ultimately, if this ends 0-0, that's fine. We're then fairly confident that we're going to sort things out for the second leg. Of course, they've got Eric Garcia at the back, and we've got De Ligt, the swap deal that wasn't, because Juventus wouldn't agree to a swap deal. Sula playing it forward, looking for Memphis, but can't find him. It ends up back with Porro, and now De Ligt to Porro again. And there's Andrezinho looking for the ball over the top for Moukoko, but can't find him. And Van Haren in midfield. Probably wouldn't have expected to come into the team against Juventus when he signed for us a couple of weeks ago. Baldi going past his man, cuts it back to Memphis. It's back with Baldi again. Now Van Haren on the edge there, plays it into Moukoko. I think he's offside. I think it's being given offside. Yeah, everything's slowed down. It is offside, but we're teasing Juventus. We're showing them that there is a goal forthcoming, even if they're not going to get it straight away. We are close. How far offside was he here? Quite offside. We'll put that down to youthful exuberance. And Juventus have started making substitutions. So I'm glancing down at my team, thinking, well, Pedri probably can't play a full game. And I want to get Nonto on because those front three together are just exciting. But then I'm looking at Andrezinho and Moukoko, who are both absolutely bottling it today. Right, job number one, Pedri has to come off. So Nico is going to come on and play. Didn't want to start him, but he can play now. We're actually going to play him there and move Declan Rice a little bit further forward. Andrezinho, though, don't know if this is a little bit of stage fright, but Yusuf Demir can come on for him, and we'll leave things there for now. Drop a little bit of encouragement. Andrezinho has been brilliant in every game leading up to this one. Of course, he's not played a game in Europe yet. It looks like Porro is now injured. Or maybe not injured, just tired. I would have brought Nonto on for one of those two. But with Porro tiring and Dest on the bench, that makes sense for the third substitution. We're not really here to try and score a goal today. We're here to try not conceding a goal. So if we can keep things tight at the back with Dest, that makes more sense than giving us a little bit more excitement up front. Plus, it saves Nonto for Real Madrid. I'm on board with that. Demir now playing it into Van Haren. If we can grab a late winner here, that would be superb. It's Declan Rice in the area, and he couldn't apply the finish to it, but he was causing some problems. We've absolutely destroyed them on XG today. The positive we take out of this, I think, is that this time last year in our away game, we lost 6-0 in Italy. This time, 0-0, and we were the better team by a mile. I think we'll be fine in the second leg back at our place, which you'll see in tomorrow's episode. But for now, we need to prepare ourselves for this league game against Real Madrid, where we're 1 point ahead of them after they've been top of the league for a lot of this season. So I don't know if they've just hit some iffy form. Let's have a look to see schedule. So they've actually not won their last two games against Atletico and Valencia. So fingers crossed we're playing them at exactly the right time. If we can pick up a win here, it'll go a long way towards us going on and winning a fourth consecutive La Liga, which would be awesome. Right, a little bit of tactical shuffling for the Real Madrid game then. Bellingham and De Jong both able to come back into the side, so they do. It then gives me a decision to make around Pedri, who could drop back down to the bench and continue his recovery. It's been a long time out injured for Pedri. He's only just starting to make it back into the team, but I think it's Real Madrid. We've got to play Pedri. So we're going to put him out onto the right-hand side. Andrezinho, who was really poor against Juventus, can drop down to the bench. We're not going to bring Nonto straight back in because I think we need Memphis Depay for this game as well. Moukoko has to start. I think we've got that core of the team now who, if they're fit, they start, which is Moukoko, Bellingham, De Jong, De Ligt, Ter Stegen. I think you kind of go down there. That is the core of this team. Everyone else around them can be part of the rotation. But I think Moukoko, Bellingham, De Jong, De Ligt, Ter Stegen, if they're fit, they play. And they're all fit, so they all play. Pedri, we need to keep an eye on, but obviously we've got Andrezinho there as an option who can come on as and when he's needed. And this is a little bit different to the Juventus game we've just played. It's still away from home, but this one, we really do want that win. None of this happy with a draw nonsense. Sula's hit the post inside the first 2 minutes as well, and Rice is chasing back to get a hold of the ball that ran free off the back of the headed chance into the post. Have I got any words today? What was that as a sentence? This is why no one's ever going to hire me to do real commentary, because every now and again my mouth just disconnects from my brain. Right, Pedri playing it back to De Jong. De Jong looking to get himself into a crossing position, and he does, but can't find Moukoko, and Courtois is there to collect comfortably for Real Madrid, who lump the ball clear. Sula is there to handle that though, and Rice is feeding it straight back to the forwards. Memphis and Moukoko and Baldi, who's looking to cut back the cross to Declan Rice, and he's thundered it into the top corner. There's been a few people questioning why I'm continuing to play De Jong deep and Rice ahead of him, and it's because I don't want Declan Rice to be a holding midfield player. I want him to be a box-to-box midfield player, because he can do this. He's got more energy than De Jong. He's better at just getting up and down and making a nuisance of himself all over the pitch. And he can thunder a shot like that as well. Declan Rice, the box-to-box midfielder, putting us 1-0 up inside the first 20 minutes of this game. Talking of players who are nailed on if they're fit. Maybe Rice is probably one of those at that 3. I think you struggle to break at that 3. The reason I didn't include him in the original core of must starts is because I probably would play around with starting Pedri ahead of him on occasion in the midfield and moving Bellingham over to the box-to-box role. But the Bellingham and De Jong, undroppable. Rice might occasionally sit things out or even play at the back or play in different positions. Ultimately, we've got a lot of very good players now. This team, we took a little bit of time to rebuild. There were some weird signings along the way, but as the debt has reduced and our financial power has returned, I think we've put together a super team here. And there's one of the ghosts of Kev series pasts popping up to grab an equaliser. We had him at Chivas last year in the Chivas save that we did. And there he is scoring against me for Real Madrid, which is interesting because he wasn't good enough to play for Real Madrid in that series. I think he did. I don't remember what his fate was in El Directo Deportivo. I think he ended up going to Europe, but for his release clause, it was an Ansu Fati situation. Certainly didn't go to a club the size of Real Madrid, though. Anyway, it's 1-1. De Ligt is back there covering the lumped ball forward, and now Ter Stegen playing it forward to Sula. This is a troublesome-looking highlight, unless we're going to score a wonder goal, because it started very strangely with our defenders, De Ligt absolutely throwing himself at that and not getting anywhere near it, and Macias is there again to try and repeat the trick that he did earlier on, trying to tuck it under Ter Stegen at the near post, but this time Ter Stegen is equal to it, and Real Madrid get the corner, and now Moukoko is going to try and get a break going for us, and this is where he uses his pace, his power, his direct running. If he can get past that man, the highlight might continue, so presumably he didn't get past him. That was a strange highlight because nothing really happened in it, but okay. It's 1-1 at half time. I don't really want a 1. I mean, I want to win. I want to send a message to Real Madrid. This is our league, that we win, and we've let them have a little bit of time at the top of the table while we were redoing our tactic, rebuilding the team. Quite a lot of player turnover this year. We let them have a go, but it is ours, and we are going to win it at the end of the year. Right, Declan Rice needs to come off. Van Haren can come on for him. We're also going to take off Pedri, and I think we will bring on Demir, actually. Demir hasn't done anything wrong this season, really. He's always a threat when he comes on. Andrezinho was so poor in that last game. And I might take off Moukoko as well. After being so excited about him, we'll give Nonto another run up front. Both of the new boys that have come in have looked poor in front of the cameras. If they're camera shy, that's troublesome, because camera shy is usually equivalent to in-game not liking big matches, because it's usually the bigger matches that I show you in videos. But Demir, on the right-hand side. It was good link-up play with Nonto. Demir cuts it back to Memphis Depay. Yusuf Demir makes an immediate impact, and Memphis Depay showing us why we started him ahead of Nonto in the first place, because he is just awesome. He probably is coming to the end of his Barcelona career. I think he's now 31 years old, and he knows Nonto's his long-term replacement. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to grab a couple more winners' medals on the way out of the door. It's 2-1 to us with 10 minutes to go in the match. There are tired legs all over the pitch. Bellingham is tired. Memphis is tired. But we are still on the attack, and it's Bellingham who couldn't get there ahead of Vinicius Jr. And now Real Madrid looking for a counter-attack of their own. Somebody needs to just kick it. That's got to be offside. It's Macias who's in again. He's missed. He must have been offside. I don't even know that he was. But that is a very handsome-looking league table. If we can keep things as they are, it's Demir again with a free kick from deep. It's a poor one, and it's just straight into the hands of Courtois in the Real Madrid goal. And we have got now 3 minutes remaining. There doesn't seem to be any rush, although he has now lumped it forward, looking for Jovic. And they're coming down this left-hand side again. I don't know if they're targeting a tired Pedro Porro here, but a Seaman is there, and okay, it's 2-2. A draw's fine. It's not ideal, but at least it's not a defeat. I wanted to win. When was the last time we did an episode where we didn't win either match? Has that happened at all in this series? I've just shown you my £200 million worth of new players, then proceeded to not win a game afterwards. It's fine. It was Juventus and Real Madrid away from home. At least we've not lost them. And we are still top of the league. Let's try and pull the positives out of this. But we haven't looked spectacular in either of those matches. Dynamics-wise, just to show we haven't ruined things with the new signings, because I know that'll be what some people say. You've brought in all these new players. Of course you're not going to play as well. But they've all gone straight into social groups. Makoko has gone straight in there with this lot, with Bellingham and Sula and ter Stegen. And then De Ligt, who obviously came in before, is with his buddy De Jong. Nonto's in that group as well. I'm looking for Andrezinho. Andrezinho and Van Haren are not yet in social groups. So we need to smush them in somehow. Is this recommending... Are these the players I'm being recommended to sign? The following recommended players have been scouted and are likely to fit. So on that list, we've got Mbappe, Kai Havertz, Erling Haaland. Should we just sign those three? Mbappe and Haaland don't get in the team. We've got Makoko. Right. We are still top of the league. We are still in the Champions League. They're the only two important things. And tomorrow we'll be back with the second leg against Juventus. We might even be in the Copa del Rey final by then. Wouldn't that be something? If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.